Welcome back everyone to the MSI Master Overclocking Arena 2014 editions. I'm Sufran from OverClocking-TV and here is Dennis from Outer Asylum.
Hello everyone, how are you doing?
Everyone is doing great.
Yeah,
Answer us in the chat, don't forget, we are here until the next, at least 3 hours at least that. The competition still run for 2 hours and 40 minutes. So far, Wizardy, the French guy, is first with 54 points, while Bibotis from Indonesia is second with 36 points. Then we have Toasty, Steponti, and DV. All these 5 guys can go back home with cash prize if they stay in the top 5 until the end of the competition of today, the MSI MOA 2014 No-Limit battle. No-Limit! So we had some slight issue with the live and the sound, but we are back, and we are back big time. We will be commenting on all the benchmarks that are going on, but first we want to see something cool. The LN2, we had some of lot of demand on that, so maybe I can just switch back to one of the camera right there. As you can see, we have a few setup on the side, and right here you can see we're putting down right here one of the CPU card that the other people are using. We're just using it like this for fun. So as you can see, it's boiling inside. So this is no water, this is LN2, liquid nitrogen. And the liquid nitrogen is very, very, very cold. It's about minus 200 degrees Celsius.
Close to that, it's like 196 or something like that.
So this is extremely cold.
What we're using this for is basically just to lower the ambient temperature of the air going into our stream box to kind of cool down the Core i7.
So Dennis, still cheering for Steponzi to finish in the first spot?
Well, right now he's 4th place. He's got, a little more than 2.5 hours left. Anything can happen because, it's not over till it's over. But he's...
Do you think there's a chance he can finish first?
Well, there's possibilities. But
as a French guy, I would say there's no chance he can finish first because Wizardy is taking the lead and he's running fast.
Yeah, he has quite a few points. Steponzi's going to have to finish his 3D benchmarks in record time to be able to actually amass enough points to make that work.
Well, Steponzi's going to have to step up his game to be sure that he can win.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of nitrogen left here, liquid nitrogen. And a couple of people in the chat have asked about
drinking it. No way.
Yeah, we're not going to drink it.
Never drink liquid nitrogen. Never put liquid nitrogen inside your mouth. Be careful, it's dangerous.
Yep. However, with that being said, nitrogen has a very low specific heat, so whenever it encounters something warmer than it, it will immediately start to boil and change phase. In case in point, you can pour some on your hand and be just fine.
Not on my phone?
Yeah, your phone will be fine too.
So we have this. The thing is, when you have
your hand like this,
the end like this, and it's going through, it's creating the what's called the light and frost effect.
Yeah, there's a thin layer between like your hairs and stuff like that of your skin and the nitrogen. You still feel it being cold, but that is the layer where it starts to boiling away. Now, if I had turned my hand over like this and cupped it so that it stayed in my hand, I have a chance of going to the hospital.
A chance, I would say.
A pretty
good chance to go to the hospital. We have this little guy here from one of the sponsors of the event from Kingston, and we were making fun yesterday, like not only about the nose size, but because he's brainless. He's pretty much brainless. So it's actually a smoking brain. Brains. So I think it's time for one of our giveaway.
You want to do another giveaway?
Yeah, but this time I want to do a very special one. Maybe some of you noticed during the day that I did change some of my T-shirts.
You did? Yeah, I noticed that a couple of times.
Yeah. So I had a few different T-shirts. What I want to do is you guys on the live chats can answer that question. The question is, okay, let's say, what do you want to offer? I think we're gonna offer MSI cap.
Okay.
We're gonna offer one of the MSI No-Limit T-shirts. One of these.
It's a very comfy shirt, by the way.
Yep. And as it's a very tough question because you had to be here and watch the live and find out how many T-shirts I didn't wear.
Are you going to sweeten the pot?
I can actually offer an OCTV T-shirt.
Like the one you're wearing?
The one I'm wearing, not the same one, like a regular T-shirt.
Oh,
this
yeah.
one is a polo, so OCTV T-shirt, same design as this one.
Yeah.
And an OCTV sticker.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? I can even bundle that with. That will be also on the giveaway.
All right.
So the question is, how many different T-shirts did I wear today? So you can answer that on the Twitch live chat. The first person to find out gonna win the complete package.
Oh, so the first person with the correct answer, who writes it in the chat, will win. Those 4 items: a hat, a shirt,
the hat, MSI hat, the MSI shirt, the OCTV shirt, and the brainless. How can I say that? The brainless head.
Yeah, the Kingston head. Oh, we have answers coming through.
Well, good luck, guys, because that's a tough question. It was actually started as a joke and turned out to be quite funny. So let's go back to the full size of the inverters. We have 18 overclockers here today, competing from 15 different countries, and they are all here to win a total cash prize of 16,000.
All right, so we see some results coming in.
No, 42 is not the answer.
You see any correct ones yet?
Actually, I don't know. I have to check.
All right. Should I just tell Tim over there what the correct answer would be? $96 shirts. That's quite a lot. I don't think that's correct. All right, so Tim has the official answer. He will be picking a winner and announcing it in the chat.
Sure, we'll announce that later on once someone finds the good one.
Good luck, everyone.
So what we are seeing here is Thirsty from Ukraine, that is actually third in the ranking, while Bob Envy on the left is not even in the top 10.
No, he hasn't submitted any. I think he's just kind of having some fun benching, or not benching, as it were.
So maybe we can have the screen of some of the overclockers and show you around what's going on. OC Windforce was benching earlier today.
Yep.
He's now drying a bit his system, as we can see on the screen.
Yeah.
We have Vivi that is setting up for three-way graphic card system.
Oh, so he's doing the I'm guessing the 980X gaming, or GTX 980 gaming, sorry. No X on this one, this is NVIDIA.
Don't forget, guys, there's also 2 other giveaway on our Facebook fan page. You go to facebook.com/OverClocking-TV. There's the giveaway number 2 with the question is you have to give the name of 3 partners of the MSI Master Overclocking Arena. And the third one is who won the classic battle yesterday.
Ah, yes.
So you can win a lot of hardware. You can win a mini ITX gaming graphic cards, as well as a Z97M power motherboard from MSI, of course. So let's see what screen do we have. Thirsty is still running the same benchmark over and over and over. Is he using Windows 8?
Maybe.
That's what we are seeing here. He's using Windows 8. That's actually different move from other guys.
Yep.
And we are also having OC Windforce, but he's steering down the system right now.
Right.
So don't forget, guys, you can go online on Facebook fan page and find out for winning one of the M Power Z97 mainboard or the Mini ITX gaming graphic cards.
Yeah, let's do that one.
There is 2 hours and 30 minutes left in this competition,
2.5 hours.
and I still think that Wizardy will win.
All right. Well, technically, the top 5 win, but coming in first place, Wizardly, he's sitting pretty. He's doing good.
So Toasty is still setting the system to be sure that everything is working fine, testing that each graphic card is running as expected. And he was running Catzilla earlier. So
Oh, yes.
maybe he's aiming at getting some point in this benchmark although.
As we spin through the cameras, we're going to pull up VV's top-down system. He hasn't actually insulated the CPU pot yet.
But he's using a special insulation.
Yeah.
We have own design solutions. It's good for branding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he designed an M on the insulation.
It was his good luck artwork, I think.
Yeah. So who else is benching? We have the Indonesian guys benching. How many we can change the camera on them so we can have some more details?
Okay.
Okay. I will turn it a little bit so we can see the
Yep. Quickly going to move some cameras around. Bear with us. I believe they have a total of 8 cameras in different aspects of the competition floor.
Step 1Z on the screen.
Yep. He's been saving a lot of screenshots. Oh, okay. 10,828 for Firestrike. 5 gigahertz 5960X. And he's now down to 2 GPUs. So he's just running 2-way crossfire. No, it's just regular Firestrike, it's not extreme. Now he's going to go for 3D Mark 11. As you can see, the video card clocks are at stock in the lower right-hand corner, that's the GPU-Z that illustrates all the information about the video card.
So guys, we have the answer of the giveaway.
And that was the giveaway with a MSI hat, MSI competition shirt, OC-TV shirt, and our foamy Kingston hat, correct?
Yep. The question was, how many different t-shirts did I wear today on the stream?
Yep.
And the correct answer was, drum 5.
5.
So the winner is James319. So stay tuned and watch your private message inbox. We're gonna send you a message in the near future to send you all that to your mailbox.
All right.
So guys, we are here and we are seeing Steponzi's benching. We can switch back to our
We have
friend
Catzilla running.
Toasty is running Catzilla. So this is the benchmark with the mad cat, the mad cat is the black one, and there's the kitty on the right side. That's the kitty, that's the nut. They are 14 minutes fighting fire everywhere. This is awesome, this is going through, it's lifting rocks, it's blowing a complete city, and it's a quiet again.
Well, that's what happens after the Japanese squirrel girl with a gas mask comes in and converts your cats back into normal.
This is called cat apocalypse.
Yes.
So as you can see, Toasty is very dedicated to his rig. He's checking the benchmark and then having the system cool down all the time. So that's the physics test.
Yep.
Like all the particles and so on is calculated in real time.
I'm actually impressed that that particular physics benchmark is different every time. So it's actual real true physics benchmark.
The
Now we
FIR
do
test.
FIR test. With 3D Mark benchmarks, you're allowed to bypass all of these sub-tests, but Catzilla doesn't allow you to do that, I think.
So, this is the fluid test. So you have like one main benchmark and then you have like a few different tests after that. So you have to run against all of them to make sure that you get a score at the end.
Ray Mark test.
So
lighting.
don't forget guys, this is a benchmark. This is to load as much as you can the system to give you a certain amount of points at the end.
Oh, we need to move.
We need to remove a different thing on the live. So it's a total score of 39,870 points.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's a lot. So if we go check is using the R9 290X graphic cards, there is 2 GPU, so it's a dual card system.
1.4 gigahertz on the core and 1.5 gigahertz on memory. That's impressive.
Let's check online to see what is this core compared with the other R290X
Right.
VGA.
I'll quickly look that up for you.
So Toasty is the winner from last year. He's just changing a few settings and going back straight into the benchmark. So he didn't took any screenshot yet because the score was not the one he expected, or it was lower than the previous score he already had submitted. As you can see, the benchmark is launching, is making sure that everything is not crashed, that it's gonna run.
Yep.
It's very concentrate.
And he's down to 2 GPUs as well, so he's already gone through the freeze. Alright, so 2 cards, Catzilla, 720p. The current high score, world record if you will, is 45,088.
So if he win that, he will gain 2 points in the global ranking.
Yeah, if he beats that one.
If he beat that one, he's gonna gain 2 points in the ranking. But right now,
let's see, at 39, that would put him in a solid 5th place in the rankings for that particular benchmark in this particular hardware configuration. Very impressive.
yeah. That is actually very dedicated. He was benching this system the complete weekend.
Yeah.
Complete weekend for that. Maybe we can have one of the HWBot representative on the live with us to explain a bit more about all this point system and scores, etc.
All right. I will. I'm gonna go grab one. I'll be right back.
Oh, since the computer is starting the benchmark, is starting. We'll have a look at how this is going on. As you can see, the benchmark is always starting at the same. The benchmark is always the same routine. You go in the devastated cities. Army is there. Something is going. There's noise. Oh no, it's just a kitty. Kitty. Oh meow. Go back to the tank. Oh, there's some issues. The black screen. So that means, oh, that's artifact. That means that the graphic card is going way too high, or maybe there's some issue in the drivers. But he's keep continuing benching. No, it's gone. The computer crashed. There's nothing else he can do. You have to restart again from scratch and start at the very beginning. Go stop the computer and start again. That for another round. While we wait for Toasty to fire back the system, we are here with Massman. Hi, Massman.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm very good, and you?
Very good as well.
So, Massman, you're the representative for HWBots?
That is correct.
That is correct. And what is actually your job, and what is HWBot?
So, in HWBot, my job would be a project manager officially. Actually, until the end of this month, because we just started our company here in Taipei. So I'll be managing that Taipei office, and what we do is primarily we are a database of overclocking results. But to a further extent, we try to grow the overclocking community as much as possible. We try to spread the message of overclocking, what it is about. It's about pushing your system, whatever component you have, as fast as possible. Try to extract as much performance as possible from any given configuration.
I see. So it's mainly a database, but you're also promoting audio overclocking world and acting like as a home for audio overclockers.
Yeah. So we do competitions as well. We help out with competitions like MOA, for example, with our expertise and our competition engine structure, our backend. So yeah.
Interesting. And since how long are you doing that for HWBot?
I started working for HWBot in October 2009. So it's about 5 years and 20 days.
Interesting. And how old is HWBot, the project itself?
We started in, I think, June 2005. We had the official website. So that's when we registered hwbot.org. So we've been going on for a while.
Yeah, you guys have been pretty busy and improving a lot of what you were doing over the years. I have a few questions. We're talking about the No-Limit battle today, and it's based out on points that you get from the global first place and hardware first place. So how does these things work in the ranking, and how do you get points, etc.?
Okay, so I assume that you're referring to the whole discussion we have about what's a world record and what's not a world record. So essentially, we define an overclocking world record as the best score ever achieved in a specific benchmark. Whether that's the highest score for points that go up or the lowest score, for example, in benchmarks that are like time related, that doesn't matter. Just the best score ever achieved. And once you start breaking down that benchmark into different categories, for example, 1 GPU or 2 GPUs or 8 cores or 6 cores, you go to the global category, and if you have the number one in that global category, you have a global first place. Okay. You can even further break that down into different hardware categories. So you could, for example, say, well, I have the first place with a GTX 750 in 3D Mark 3 with 1 GPU. So that's a very very far breakdown of the
So
benchmark
it's actually like a
category.
very detailed calculation
Yes.
score.
Yeah, which is we call that a hardware category, which is defined by the benchmark and obviously the hardware. And if you're number one there, you have a hardware first place.
Interesting. So this clarification was necessary because everyone was putting like, oh, I have the top score, so that's the world record. If I do take only this set of hardware, I have the best one, so this is a world record.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
supposed to be like kind of getting out of hand. So like we could have claimed like, I don't know, like thousands of different world records. Right now on, it's only if you get the best scores on each benchmark.
Yeah.
So you can only be the fastest of the fastest.
We define the world record as being the best score ever achieved in a benchmark that is on HWBot and has global points enabled, global or world record points enabled, which basically says, okay, only if the benchmark is actively being competed in, you can claim a world record. So you cannot go around and say, oh, I have the best score ever for 3D Mark 99. I'm going to call it a world record and issue a press release with it and call attention to it. No, that's
But
not
3D Mark
okay.
99, are still people using that?
Yeah, there's still people submitting a 3D Mark 99. But I mean, that's what we do. And then the problem is that actually, and this is something that we've created ourselves. We've pretty much neglected the usage of the word world record for the past 5 years, I suppose. Not actively. We didn't decide to not look into it. It was just something that didn't really come to mind. People were using
No
the
one
word.
really bothered before.
You know, people were using it a lot, but I guess it didn't really come to our attention that much. It's only in the past 6 months that we've noticed that for an increasingly amount, people are abusing or misusing the term world record, and they're creating a lot of distress with both the people that are actually the world record owners, the people that run the 4-way SLI or the 4-way crossfire setups and put months of work into one single score, getting devaluated by people that just run a Pentium or a Celeron G220 on a Superfly 33M or something like that. So it came to our attention, and then we did some research in our database. How many world records in the very open and free definition of the term, yeah. How many are there? So we find out that there's 24 real world records. If we go by the definition that we set a couple of weeks ago, 24. If you go down to the global category, as I explained, that's breaking it up into 1, 2, 3, 4 graphics card, and then 1 core, 2 core, 3 core, 4 core, and so on. There's about 188. Now, if you go down to the hardware category,
So that's one per specific type of hardware, like a 750, a 750 Ti, a 750 Ti, or like any kind of special hardware for that.
if you, for example, see someone claim a world record with a Core i7 4770K and Superfly 32M, it's that kind of a record. So maybe a little bit too much, you know.
Yeah, you want that if you break a world record, that's something very special. Yeah.
A world record is very very valuable. So it should be like that as well. You should not devaluate the efforts of someone that puts in a month's work, retesting all the cards, modding all the cards, trying to figure out what is the most efficient way of running it. Even for CPU-Z, going through all the CPUs, trying to find the one that scales, but which core of the 8-core CPU scales highest? Which one's good? There's a lot of work that's involved in an actual world record, not so much in getting one with a very low-end CPU where no one else. If you're first out of 1, then
Or first out of 10.
yeah, but the first out of 1, you can be the only one who ever submitted, and then you're number 1. But you know, it's
That's
not
actually
world
what
record.
Wizard is doing today. He's
Yeah.
bending the rules by that. We're gonna take a slight break and come back with the explanation of how many points you get in this competition and how the ranking works for that.
Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. We're still at the MSI MOA 2014 editions right here in the No-Limit battle portion of this competition. I'm Trufan from OverClocking-TV, and here is Massman from 8W. So we're talking about like the global first place and global hardware top scores, stuff like this. Today is the No-Limit battle. It's a battle where you win points. How that's working for the guys here that need to submit scores and how they get ranked for that?
It's actually a pretty interesting competition, and I think it's the first time that this competition has been done on such a high prestige competition. So basically, anyone can bring any hardware they want, and they can. So I like it. It's ingenious. It's dedication. It's passion. He's showing his skill by, he has to clock the BCLK and some benchmarks higher or lower if there's already some competition. So it's very nice, yeah.
Somebody has like this very unique benching style. It doesn't help. What is it? No, it sounds good. Well, it seems that we had some issue with the sound, but now it's back. So let me validate that everything is fine. Yes. No, we have the sound. The sound is good. So as we can see now on the stream, on the right side of the screen is someone benching pretty much fast time, and it's a bit laggy. So who knows? That's actually Thirsty running this,
which is a Radeon R9 290s.
Yep. Who do you think can win? I mean, there's less than 2 hours left now, so
I think Wizardy has it in the bag. His strategy is paying off. And then for second place, it's going to be either B-Boy Jess from Indonesia, who's actually running 2 setups as well. So both Wizardy and B-Boy Jess chose to have 2 systems running at the same time to be as efficient as possible. And then Toasty was, Toasty, B-Boy Jess, and Wizardy were the 3 people that took this very seriously. They started right away. So if they end up 1, 2, and 3, that would be ideal. That would teach the other guys a lesson for next year where, make sure you get on it as quickly as possible.
Especially from the guys that are new from the last 2 years. These guys are been benching at home, not going to be to the live overclocking competitions, but Wizardy's first competition was last year, like almost a year ago. So in a year, he competes in 3 of the main competition, I think, and he's now like trying to pull off all his heart out to make sure that he can be considered as one of the best overclockers in the world. Well, we have some of the benchmark running on in the background. Some of the overclockers are still benching as much as they can. What you can see on the stream here is a Wizardy setup. He just finished remounting everything, changing the CPU, and he's gonna go again for the complete batch of benchmark, and then I guess even more points just for that.
It's quite funny that he has a thermal flask of the Master Overclocking Arena 2011.
That's dedication. He's bringing back some of the figures he had in the past.
When he was packing his luggage, he traveled back in time first to get a thermal flask.
He was not competing in the MOA 2011.
No.
So you got it from someone. Maybe you got it here by one of the other guys. Well, talking about
Other guys.
talking about other competitions, I happen to have some of very special things that are coming from the previous event. So for the past 7 years, the MSI OverClocking Arena was running, and every year there was a team. And as a small tradition, every time we happened to go to the final, we always took some of the like design stuff, and we were trying to make people sign them. As you can see, it's signed by some of the overclockers. This one was
Tiffany.
Tiffany, one of the organizers
Yeah.
from one of the thing. It was September 10th, 3 years ago.
2011. Yeah. This one is your. Let me unfold this one. This one is actually from last year.
Yep.
So we have all the guys from last year. You can see like Sniper Oz, who's here this year as well. You have OC Windforce here as well. Who else do we have here? Pippi Norang, Extreme Addict, Bauer, Little Boy. Truman is right here.
No, I'm right there.
You're right there, yeah. Mike CDM, who was here as well. Arbuas, who was supposed to be here as well, but is sick. So, yes, Cuñado, Caldas, and many more names.
Daniel was here too yesterday, but he's not competing. He was here as a vendor because he's now working for the vendors.
He's working for one of the partners of MOA actually, so I'm pretty sure we can name the vendor.
For HyperX?
HyperX, indeed, yes.
Don't forget, guys, there is 2 giveaways running on our Facebook page, facebook.com/overclocking-TV, and you can follow us also on Twitter at OverClocking-TV, as well as Massman right here at HWBot on Twitter. We might have a few others giveaway. You can win the Z97 Empower if you go on our Facebook page. To win that motherboard, you have to say the nickname of the winner from the classic battle of yesterday. And you can also win a Mini ITX gaming graphic cards, depending on the systems you have. So let's go back to Tolsky running some Firestrike testing, while I do try to find out some of the other flags from the previous years. Massman, what do you think about the level of playing field here for these competitions?
I think I put it somewhere on the website. The level is actually pretty high, and actually, if you look at the classic battle yesterday, the scores were pretty impressive. The scores were pretty tight as well. It was only in the very final round that Vivi was able to run away from the rest of the pack.
So, Massman went back to the judge area where they have to make sure the scoreboard are fine to be uploaded on the database.
My chair is a bit warm right now.
So Dennis from Arroyo Asylum is back here with us.
What you got there?
Toasty. So Toasty is running Firestrike. He's trying to make it happen. But sometimes things go wrong and the system crash.
Yep. That will happen more often now that there's less than 2 hours left. Everyone's trying to push as much as they can to get those extra points.
So don't forget, guys, if you have any questions, you can ask us on the live chat, and you can follow us on Twitch to get notified for the next overclocking live streams in the near future.
Somebody screenshotted us from the live stream yesterday and sent me a picture. Talked with Stepanzi while I was away. He's expecting to do really well. He's down to 2 cars now, so he finished the 3-way battle, and he's basically getting 2 points for every benchmark he runs.
So let's switch to Thursday later on today. So it seems like he's getting into some troubles. Let's see if we have someone else running benchmarks.
Looks like he's talking to somebody about scores. I think he was expecting more points than what he got.
So right now on the screen we can see Wizard Team new setup. He did set up everything in a very fast pace, I would say. In less than 15 minutes, the system was teared down, dried, and built again to run the benchmark. That's a very efficient way for the guys to make sure that they can finish the system and push as many scores as they can.
Yeah. I'm going to go refill our ambient cooler over here. I was looking at our ambient chiller, which is actually a debauer CPU pot, and then there's a good maybe 2 millimeters of frost on the copper bits at the bottom.
I didn't even see that right there. See this? That's the condensation going on.
Yep.
It's freezing, it's freezing.
And that's the type of condensation that we have to deal with in a high humidity environment like it is here in Taipei, Taiwan. Why a lot of these guys will run a bench for about an hour and then sometimes have to tear the system down, sop up the extra water and condensation, and then have to reset up and start rebenching.
So Tulsi is about to submit a score. He's gonna switch back to his screen to see what's going on.
Somebody was running 06 or 05.
We have some issues. You can see the screen from Tulsi, but it's not a big deal because we can go see the screen from Stepanzi.
Ooh, Stepanzi. Alright, this is actually a very cool spot in the benchmark. When the Dragon comes out, super frames per second.
Dragon, fire at the Dragon!
660, 680, back down to 120. And that's all based off of how much it has to render during those particular scenes.
So the more particle you have on screen, the more demanding it is for the graphic cards.
Yep, tends to get a little slow. Here we're up to 500 frames a second. And then the water dragon will come in behind the boat and he'll turn on his jet thrusters or rocket thrusters.
And then fire boost and USB.
It's 880 frames a second right there for a second. It's a nice feeling when you can get a bench that will, do 1,000 frames a second when just a few themes before it was chugging at 130. Now it should actually be changing to the next scene.
So he's modifying some of the settings online. You can see on the right side he's tweaking some of the systems.
Yep.
You're gonna see switch to one of the guys that is one of the newcomer from this year, Rodi from Indonesia.
Yep. One of the people in Twitch chat recognized Rodi, called out his name. I thought that was pretty impressive.
So Rodi has won the Class A APAC qualifiers, so that was actually interesting because the APAC requirement for the hardware was pretty high.
Yes.
So you need to have a Z97 main board, you need to have a 780, you need to have a R9 290 graphic cards.
Well, you were allowed any MSI card, but the R9 290X was the preferred one because that's current top of the line. Lightning Edition allows for LN2 overclocking.
So that was pretty high-end hardware.
Yes.
So that's actually funny to see. That's actually good and interesting to see the Indonesian guys being able to put out some very, very strong scores.
Yep.
So right now he's benching Unity Evan. We cannot get the screen right now, but we will try to do it.
Actually, OC Windforce, when I passed by, he was doing Unity Heaven and having a few crashes here and there.
So let's see what else we can have for today. Right here we have our countrymate on the right side, Gunslinger, while we have some of the views is the Australian guys and Thirsty on the left side.
So Toasty is currently in third place in this No Limits battle with 30 points. And that's very impressive considering that he's been benching 290Xs since this competition started yesterday evening.
As we say, there's different strategy to win.
Yep.
Wizard's strategy is to bench as many different benchmarks, while Thirsty is to bench as many Wizard is to bench as many different hardware, while Thirsty is to bench as many different benchmark on the same hardware. So they're doing two other the opposite way of each other.
Yep.
And that's the finish spot on the top 5.
That's actually the nice thing about this particular competition is that it allows the overclocker to decide how they want to try and win.
So he's installing again the graphic cards on the systems. You have to be very quick because there's so many ice on the CPU pod. You don't want that to unfroze and create water on the system.
Yeah, to start to melt. So what he's doing here is he's taking some paper towels and he's pushing it underneath the graphics card to the point between where the fingers go into the PCI Express slot. That's a very common area where condensation will collect. It's outside of the realm of what is normally under sub-zero conditions. Want to whisk away as much of that water as possible. Otherwise, you get water in there and it causes electrical problems and random crashes and strange performance problems.
Well, that's the kind of issue you have when you're using liquid nitrogen that is so cold that you need to take care of all the extra security things you have outside.
And this is something that once you have started benching in this particular style, you know what to look for, and you know if things just don't seem right, tear it down.
So far in the ranking, we have Wizardy with 56 points taking the lead, while B-Boy G's from Indonesia. He's again with 36 points, Solsti with 30 points, third, Stepanzi with 32 points, and Dr. Riz has 16 points. On the sixth place, we have VB from South Africa.
Yep.
This guy won yesterday for the classic battle, and it's actually interesting that he's only sixth because he's now trying to bench with the 980 GDX, I think.
Yep.
And he's trying to get some very
It's trying to get
score there.
it's trying to get a three-way score.
If he submits the scores before his countrymate Dr. Luis, maybe he can jump into the 5th place and go back home with some cash prize. I mean, even more than what he already
A
had.
little bit more cash prize. I believe we can see his screen though.
We're supposed to, but it's yes, we can see the screen now. So let's see what we can. Nope, I don't have the screen, but we have the screen. Stefanzi benching Unigen Adam.
Very impressive. I love the Unigen. Very long benchmark. In terms of overclocking Unigen with liquid nitrogen, it requires a fair amount of juice or LN2 because it's very long, 26 stages, I believe. And each stage has a different demand. We're coming up on the Dragon. No, we've already passed the Dragon.
I don't think he's even benchmarking now. It's just running the benchmark over and over again, maybe to keep the... Oh no, he's running it. He's running it just because we didn't have the full size of the screen.
Yeah, the resolution's a little low.
No, it's always difficult to have some of the all the information from the guys, because usually they're running the benchmark and then they're changing resolution and then running the benchmark again. It seems that we could have some more feedback. So we're gonna comment on a complete benchmark run as soon as we can. So here we have DV screen. And DV is benching very hard on the systems.
Chuckles. You know, after doing live commentary for an overclocking competition like the MSI MOA Grand Final 2014 edition in Taipei, Taiwan,
with 18 overclockers and 15 different countries,
you tend to stumble over your words.
Yep. So he was benching Aquamark. He's getting 365,000 points, pretty much.
That's just a big number.
But it's not random.
Yeah, well, Aquamark is a very dated benchmark. Back in the AGP days when you had your 440 ties, you know, GTX 440 ties, the workload was considerably more for those particular cards.
So it's a black screen, so maybe he's rebooting the system again. We can switch to his camera to see what's going on. Oh no, he was benching Aquamark.
Ah, okay. Do we still have a camera in front of Sniper Oz there?
Yep. He's unmounting the system now. So Sniper Oz is unmounting his system. You can see he's panning up the BGs.
That's the bunting. Yep. This is our American friend. He's now going into single card benchmarks. This, I believe, is Sniper. Stream close up. Nope.
That's Gunslinger.
That's Gunslinger.
Who else can we have on the screen?
Yeah. There's oh, it's toasted. Right.
So Toasty is eating up the GPU cooler, so maybe he has run into some issues.
Well, if he was actually running a benchmark and then shut it down to remount it, he needs to do what they call flashing the pot. So if the way that LN2 works is that it evaporates, and that rapid expansion of the gas from a liquid to a gaseous form is what removes all the heat from the surrounding area. That the transmission of that heat and cold is based off its surface area. Some of these containers, like the Devour Raptor pot, has a lot of internal surface area, a lot of little channels for the evaporation to take place. On some of these older containers that only have a couple of holes drilled down in the bottom, you need to bring the temperature down on the pot and then heat it up. And what happens when you heat it up, you form ice crystals, just like if you blow on something cold. You create these little ice crystals, and that adds more surface area for the liquid nitrogen to evaporate into.
Interesting. So they're actually like improving the design itself to make it even more efficient.
They're improving the efficiency. And anytime you stop your benchmark, you change that temperature threshold, so you need to reflash the pot. It adds a bit of ice. When you're done, you can actually pick up your container, turn it over, and all the water will fall out of it. It's quite neat.
So Tulsi, always focused, guys. As you can see, you won the second place yesterday with $2,000 US.
Yeah.
He was the winner from last year, although he got invited here. He didn't have to qualify online. He was already invited.
He got that free ticket. And he won twice. So now do the MOA competitors only in first place get the free ticket? It's only the first place, correct? Yeah. So,
like last year, they had the classic battle and the no limits. They call it freestyle, but it's the same concept.
Yep.
So they invite only the winner from the classic battle every year, and it's like a tradition for the past 7 years.
Yep.
They're doing that.
So if we have a 2015 edition, BV will get a free ride.
Indeed. So that's gonna be a free ride from South Africa to Taipei, Taiwan. Maybe that's where they're gonna have that. So we can switch back to Tulsi again. Is still benching pretty much fire strike. There's a few different benchmarks. We just want to be sure that you use the right settings to bench.
Yep. Reevaluate it looks like he's changing the clock settings, add a little bit of memory performance. This is probably one of the better cards out of his trio. Get a little bit more efficient operation that way. Set the GPU clock back to stock. And here we go. Now the 5-strike benchmark is divided into 4 different sections. The first section is by far the most demanding. It's also the one that I use to keyframe and let me know if the bench is going to complete with a good score or a bad score compared to previous runs. That little keyframe is actually past this point. But Ponzi probably realized that it wasn't going to go as well as he wanted, so he stopped it and we're back onto the loading screen.
See, I would have to was maybe just testing the
The clocks.
the clocks by step to be sure you cannot gain like a 300 megahertz one shot. It's not like a CPU you can go that high.
Well, like I said, that first section in Firestrike was the most demanding, so that's the one that you can use to test clocks, see if what you're going to have is going to be stable enough.
So is he again going into the benchmark? Let's see if we can do some artifacts going.
Yeah.
So artifacts are mainly error of calculation, error of displaying information on the benchmark.
Yeah, it's usually related either to a bad GPU, which is not terribly uncommon, especially if you're overclocking and you don't have a high ASIC number, or it is related to overstressing your memory, because that way it's sending data into the memory and it's coming back corrupted.
See a lot of artifacts going on the stream.
Although some of those artifacts could have been from the capture device as well, because now we're on the second stage.
Well, it's not because you have artifact that the benchmark cannot go through. You
will still complete the benchmark.
You can continue the benchmark.
Yeah.
We even have some issues where you can bench because of the black screen benching.
Yep.
So actually there is no image being displayed, but the calculation is still being made on the graphic card, so you can still have some scores at the end.
That was actually 2 years ago for MOA. The top card that you wanted to use was a 7970. Sorry. Radeon 7970 Lightning. And the outputs on those are completely digital. So you have DisplayPort, HDMI, and digital DVI. There was no way to compensate for the black screen, so a lot of times you'd set your clocks, set your temperature, and when the benchmark starts, you start stopwatch because the screen would go black, and the only time that the screen would come back is when the benchmark had finished.
You need to know if that's going through or not. Or
Yep. Yeah, it still was running. You wouldn't see any feedback, but at that point, you just you time it so you know when section 1 finishes, so you stop pouring. Start pouring before section 2 starts. Stop pouring when the CPU portion started, and then make sure to pour again for the combination, and stop right before the end of the benchmark so that you didn't freeze the GPU and bug your run. Very challenging, but that was the only way that you could get a really good score out of that particular card.
So the benchmark is trigger mark first track, is still going through. That's the massive battle.
Yeah, this is the final stage. The water sprite will push the lava sprite to the corner, and then the lava sprite will fight back. He'll scream, he'll slash twice, and then we'll go to score.
Once, twice, the scores are bringing 13,386 points. So that is, let's compare online at what is that scores, like how far is in the ranking.
All right, well, give me 1 second.
So to compare the benchmark, we go on hwbot.org. That's the database of all the benchmark of the overclocking benchmarks scores. So you can, even if you run like at stock or so on, you can compare your system with similar systems. 290?
280.
Oh, it's using 280 now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even the X edition.
Yeah.
So once you do a hardware search, it'll give you a selection list. You pick from that list, and the next page that will come up will show you the average overclock, core versus memory, how many submissions were submitted at that point. And as we can see, there aren't that many, but we are doing single card, Fire Strike, regular Fire Strike.
And on Fire Strike,
which is, where is it? Fire Strike. Wow, okay. So the top score for regular Fire Strike with the R280 single card is 9,158. However, it is single card, so wow.
You sure it's single card? I think it's using two.
Well, his GPU Z actually shows that Crossfire is disabled.
So that's a very strong score. So I think he's still using the 290. Maybe he's still using the 290X.
No, he said he's doing 280s. Unless this is Coastly. Oh, we gotta.
Let's change that.
Yeah. I am going to look to see why it's so much faster.
Some of the overclockers are already tearing down the systems because there's
a little more than an hour left. Hour and a half.
An hour and 40 minutes left. So some of the overclockers are either packing up because they know there's no chance to go in the top 5.
Yeah, or they've benched all the hardware that they've brought.
Or they broke everything they had.
Yeah,
but that's not really the case for this year.
Now, I haven't heard of any catastrophic failures of any hardware that has been brought to the MSI MOA. Here we have the competitor with the pink hairdryer. It is from Montenegro, correct?
Yep. Erika Bari from Montenegro.
So what do you know about Montenegro?
Not much. I am from Europe, but I've never been there. Well, I know it's a small country and it's mostly mountains.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all I know about this geographically European country.
Yep.
So back on the screen, we have Toasty. Overclocking is set up.
Truthman is over there moving some cameras around, and right now he's conversing with BB. All right. Oh, you brought those?
I was like, let me go grab those for me while I grab beer for everybody else.
Oh. Okay, good. Didn't even notice. Yeah, there
So
we go.
Stepanzi is benching Katzilla.
Ah.
BB is still benching his three-way setup,
Oh, yes.
even if it's using Unigine, but it's not even that. He didn't insulate the CPU pod, and he didn't even fix it. He just put the CPU pod on there.
There's a bit of strategy behind that. If you're just Unigine Heaven is DirectX 11 benchmark. All of the workload is put onto the video parts. There's no CPU component to that particular benchmark. So he doesn't even, as long as his CPU clock is stable, he can run 4.5 gigahertz in this particular configuration and still complete it. All the load's going to be on video, and that's what you're going to have to concentrate to keep cool.
We have the feedback from the screen from Stepanzi. He's benching Capsula. So we'll switch back to his screen in the next few minutes, not seconds. Just need to find back where that is, and here you go. So Stepanzi from the US is finalizing the benching. You can see he put some extra fans on the graphic cards, just to they want to make sure that this doesn't overheat.
Yes.
So that's one of the last few tests from the Capsula benchmark. Just need to be sure you can get a point. 15K. 15K for his graphic card.
That's very impressive. Let's see.
He is using the R928.
Yep.
On the X99 platform, using the Core i7 5960X.
Yeah, so the current high current high score for Catzilla 720p is 14,876. So he's gotten this one by a long shot.
Nice done, nicely done.
Yeah, so that's a few more points for him. That'll move him up the rankings.
So if we check back the ranking, is Witherty still first with 56 points, while Biboji is now trying to fill the gap, and is just 16 points away. It was 24 points away just before. Third is still Tolsti with 30 points. Stepanzi have the same amount of points as Tolsti, so that's going to be interesting to see which one of them going to be the very last score.
Yep.
And Dr. Wiz and Vivi are still fighting with each other with 16 and 14 points.
It's actually getting quite exciting with an hour and a half left in this particular competition. So I have a question for chat. Being that I'm an American, in my particular time zone back home, it is rolling on 12:30 in the morning on Sunday. It's already Sunday here in Taipei, Taiwan. So I was wondering, of the people that are still watching us in chat, what's the local time where you're at now? We get some globalization, find out who's watching us.
Who is watching, from where, and at what time?
Yeah. And who is going to be up latest?
Well, for all the people that are still on the live, we might do something else again. We still have some t-shirts.
Yeah, okay. We want to give away a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I have an idea. Since I asked about time zones, maybe we find out who is the soldier, the person staying up the earliest in the morning. And pick that? Nah. 1:30 a.m. for James.
Let me find out what we can make.
Looks like we have a couple of people in the Western Hemisphere. I'll actually be right back.
So we can see on the screen that Stepanzi is still benching as much as he can see the scores. Here now is Rodi from Indonesia. This is one of the newcomers for the competitions.
Rodi's testing the tessellation on. Oh, we have a score change on the leaderboard.
So Stepanzi submit one of his scores and is now jumping to the third place with 32 points. So it's just passing by 34 points by now and just submit another score. So well, that's getting tricky because an hour and a half left in these competitions. Toasty is losing his third spot for the first time in 8 hours.
Wow. But he did have points the evening before too, and that's where a lot of the points came from. So
we still have Wizardy and Bebotis in the top ranking, while Stepanzi just made it to the third place. So we can see that Toasty is still benching hard. He's checking in the scoreboard, checking if he can still make it.
Well, he's down to a single card, so if he just sticks within the 3D realm, he'll have he'll almost be done.
So we can go to Vivi screen for the time that we're gonna get some of the. Seems that we have slight compression issues with the Vivi screen. Maybe it's because he's benching way too hard. Some of the guys here are long-time overclockers. Some of them have been in different worldwide competition in the past. But as you can see, some of them just says, well, I don't think I can win anything today, so I'm just gonna try, packing up my stuff, being ready for tonight, relax. Most of the guys still have a day out tomorrow. The competition end tonight, but tomorrow there's like some feedback session with the manufacturers. So everyone gather at the MSI headquarters here in Taiwan, and they all discuss on the latest hardware, like the 780 Ti Lightning, all the latest graphic cards, the 980 GTX gaming card, how they can improve that, how they can improve the new motherboard. I'm pretty sure they will be all testing the X99SM Power. That's the latest release mainboard from MSI with the X99 chipset.
Yeah, the feedback from the overclockers, or the people that really use this hardware, is invaluable to a manufacturer. That's how they know what to improve, where their faults are, and what kind of features they can add that would better the experience for everybody else that would buy their hardware. So we're back to VV's screen. It looks like he is submitting a score because somebody is verifying the information there. Yeah, there's a scorekeeper over there.
He's submitting a scores of 2,530 points in 3D Mark or 3. Is that right? That is correct.
Yes. I was actually reading some of the chats, and somebody mentioned that we're not too far off 1 million views on this stream. And
really?
Look down in the corner, we're at 802,000.
We could do a giveaway with that. We could. I have a question. The question is, the first person to answer that on the live chat wins. The question is, I just need to wait that to not crash, to be sure that we can make it happen. Come on, can you do it? Can you? Oh no, you can. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit because I have a special question for the next giveaway that we're gonna be having. And then here we go. go. What is the name of this benchmark? We just want the name of the benchmark. We don't want the name of the scene. What is the name of this benchmark? The first person to answer that on the Twitch chat win a cap.
A cup?
A hat. The hat.
Oh, a cap.
A cap. Yeah, that's my French accent. French accent.
All right.
So what is the name of this benchmark? And we might have the winner quite soon.
Yep.
As you can see, sometimes the screen is laggy. Oh, he got a score of 24,000 points while he was sitting the
That's impressive. All right.
So it seems we have a winner.
Right here.
So the winner of the cap is RT Surfers. You're gonna receive an MP soon to add all your details to send you that.
Send that information to Tim. James is hanging in there. He's already won once, but he is following along and entering the correct answers.
Let's see. So we are right on the screen, Tolstoy benching Katsila.
Yep.
And we have on the other side Stepanzi benching 3D Mark 11.
Wow. This should be a fun one to watch.
So he's using the X99S M-Power mainboard. That's the mainboard they got all given for the competitions. They can use it if they want. They can use their own mainboard, MSI mainboard if they want to.
He brought his own processor, which is a 5960X that he's done an Encore mod on. There's a wire that's actually soldered to one of the empty pins on the underside of the CPU that is hooked into an external VRM.
That is just to make sure that the CPU is working as best and with the less limitation as possible.
Yeah, it's providing a little more voltage to the Encore section of the CPU so that you can overclock the North bridge.
So while he's still running the benchmark.
Okay, fair enough. More than beats.
So Toasty is really benching hard today. He's really dedicated to that. I will make a slight chance, and we might be able to switch to Wizardy that is leading the game right now by testing a lot of different hardware. And I'm back. I just came back from Vivi, and Vivi just told me that he's quitting for now. He's not gonna submit any new scores.
He's done.
He's done. It's like, what? That's enough for today. So he had 16 points.
Well, he is currently in 5th place, so he's in the money.
So he could still win something, but Dr. Wiz on his side although stopped. So that's gonna be interesting to see if one of the other Vivi says, I'm quitting. Dr. Wiz might be able to still submit something if we want to. While the biggest part of the battle gonna be between Wizardy, Bibochis, Stepanzi, and Tolstoy. And actually, between the second, third, and fourth place, that's gonna be very tight because they all came on in the ranking in the last minute. Bibochis was in the second place for pretty much the whole weekend, the whole no-limit battle, while Wizardy was taking the first spot even as early as yesterday evening. Stepandim just made it up to the ranking just later in the last 2 hours.
Yeah, well, from 0 points at the start of the day and now in 3rd place with 36 points. and he still has benchmarks to burn. So there's more points to come.
So don't forget, guys, if you have any question, just ask us on the Twitch chat. You can see some of the overclockers are already packing up, as you can see on the screen now. That is Moose 83 that finished 4th yesterday for the classic battle. While here you have Tulsi that is drying up some of his benchmarking gears to be sure that not many issues after.
I need to post a shout out on my Facebook page, one moment.
So here we go. This is the person that is in the first place now, that is leading the game. So Wizard T is using only one computer for now, because he has so much advantage that he says, I don't need to have 2 computers to do that.
Yep.
And he is actually testing the last
batch of CPUs, right?
Batch of CPUs. But seems like Beebo's Cheese is about to submit a new scores an hour and 15 minutes before the end of the competition. The judge is going there. The judge is going to see if the score is valid. Then they can take the benchmark, the screenshot, and then take that back to the judges and the leaderboard. Don't forget, guys, if you want to watch all the leaderboard, you can go to ocesports.io, and where you can have the complete leaderboard for the complete competitions of today. That's a good game spirit by James319 that already won something this weekend, and he says, if I win another thing, I will give it to the next person.
Good job.
There was some question about the price of LN2 in different countries. How much it is for you, Dennis, to overclock with a liquid nitrogen in your area?
The price varies because liquid nitrogen is divided into 2 different categories in terms of use. There is the medical use, which they certify as being more clean or something like that, and then there's the industrial use. Industrial is considerably cheaper, and I can get a 120-liter tank, which is one of the big tall tanks that we use here at the MOA battle, and it costs me about $150 US.
It's not that. It's actually quite cheap.
It's a little over $1 a liter.
Yeah. In Montreal area, I do have to pay about $4 to $5 per liter, but depend on the supplier.
Yeah.
If you order like more than 180 liters, it's fine. You can have like a decent price, like $1.3 per liter, something like this.
Yeah. See, the medical supply that also has LN2, they charge about $5-6 a liter. So yeah, I try to avoid them just because if I want to bench for an entire weekend, I'm going to need more than just 25-liter doer filler.
So one of the funny thing is Wizardy from France is in the top ranking, but if you look at the pictures, he's the only one benching. He's the only one benching out of 6 people there. He's the last one benching. He's in the top spot right now, but he's not giving up. He's not resting. He says, I want to finish. I start right at the start. I'm gonna finish right before the end. No excuse for that. So it will be
up to 56 points now.
Yeah. He will keep pushing and pushing for the next hour and 15 minutes to be sure that he can get scores.
Okay.
We're gonna take a slight break and we're gonna come back with Scream of Wizards. So stay tuned and be ready to have some more giveaway.